Gil Narvaez with Fortitude Consulting. We're going to get into ACP, explaining what the ACP Target Confirmation process is and how we can go about using it to make our shooting better. Let's first look at different levels of target difficulty. That is what is going to determine what level of target confirmation we actually utilize. So if we were at the 5-yard line and we had these 3 targets to choose from, you've got a full-size USPSA Classic, you've got a reduced-sized USPSA Classic, which is about 3.5, maybe 4 inches wide, and then you've got a 1.5-inch circle. At the exact same yard line, these 3 targets are giving you varying levels of difficulty. If we came up at the same yard line and we shot each one of these targets the exact same way, we would definitively be doing ourselves a disservice. How do we know, or how do we make a determination, depending on our particular skill set, on what level of target confirmation do we use? Well, let's go ahead and look at what these 3 levels of target confirmation are. First and foremost, I want to go ahead and address a caveat of understanding for the 3 different target confirmations. Each level has a physical and a visual element to it. I want you to pay attention to that. Each level has its own physical and visual element to it. So let's look at the first one. The first one is the aggressive level of target confirmation. The aggressive level is what you might use on this USPSA Classic at the 5-yard line. For the aggressive level of target confirmation, what you're looking for is just the color of your sighting system or the color of your dot somewhere inside the acceptable target area, and no trigger prep on the trigger. So you won't have any prep on the trigger. You're essentially slapping through the trigger as long as the color of your sighting system is in your desired target area, which is going to be the A zone in the USPSA Classic target. Dropping down to the controlled level of target confirmation. The controlled level of target confirmation is something we might use on this reduced size USPSA Classic with the goal of just hitting somewhere inside that outer border or outer perforation, if you will. For the controlled level, the 2 elements that we have are going to be a moving dot inside your actual target or desired target area, and touching and or applying just a little bit of pressure to the face of the trigger for every single shot. That's what we would use on the reduced size target, which is about 4 inches wide at 5 yards. For the 1.5-inch circle, we would use a precise level of target confirmation. That's going to be a steady, stable dot inside the desired target area and a full prep on the trigger for every round that is fired. Why is it important to have these 3 levels of target confirmation in place and something that you are thinking of as you are shooting? Well, it's going to keep you from shooting one target exactly like the other. Let's go ahead and see what an example of doing it the wrong way and doing it the right way looks like right now. So we're going to go ahead and shoot A zone in the large USPSA Classic. We're going to come up to the right side reduced sized USPSA Classic, and then we're going to come over to the 1.5-inch circle using all 3 levels of target confirmation. This is what it should look like. So here on the A zone, we've got a lot more wiggle room at the exact same distance. You saw it was super aggressive on the actual A. We came up to the reduced size USPSA Classic. It was not as aggressive. We had the dot moving inside the actual USPSA Classic, and we had at least touch pressure on the trigger for every shot. Transitioned up here to the 1.5-inch circle, got a little spicy on that shot right there. It's a line break though, it counts, right? We're not gonna beat ourselves up too much about it, but you can tell the distinct difference between the pace and rhythm of those 3 levels of target difficulty. Now, what do you think might happen if we use the exact same level of target confirmation despite what the actual target looks like? How would that look? Would that look good? Would that look bad? Let's go ahead and give that a shot, right? Let me go ahead and mark these off. We're going to shoot all 3 of these with an aggressive target confirmation and see how this pans out for us. Okay, so we shot all 3 of them with an aggressive target confirmation, and look at what we've got. We've got 2 really good hits in the A zone, which is exactly where we should be. And then what happened with this little guy up here? Completely overran the target, did not even hit 1 on the precision target. This is the very definition of not having the amount of patience and control that you need for those targets, which is where we end up with hits just going all over the place, right? These 2 right here, it looks like we just went crazy, which is what happened. We shot those in an aggressive manner. But let's go ahead and flip that around. What would it look, or what would it look like if we went ahead and shot everything in a precise target confirmation? Let's look at that as well. Yeah, right around 1.5 or 1.5 inches in diameter. Same as the 1.5-inch circle up here, right about 1.5. Well, no, actually it's probably 1 inch. Let's look at those 2 extremes. When we utilize just the aggressive, we had misses all over the place. When we utilize just the precise, we hit each target, but how much longer did it take as opposed to us using the appropriate levels of target confirmation for each one? This is something that we really need to think about, particularly from the standpoint of personal protection. We really want to make sure that A, we're being as efficient as we possibly can, and that means not taking any more time or not giving away any more time than is absolutely necessary for us to go ahead and apply good marksmanship on the target. We need to be as efficient as possible. Having that actual target confirmation process built into our shooting and knowing exactly what we're going to do physically and exactly what we're going to do visually every single time we are shooting at a target is critically important if we are actually going to find our own level of optimal performance in our shooting. That's pretty much the basics and the breakdown of the ACP. We go into this in a tremendous amount of detail in our performance under pressure course, as well as in our private training, but this is a basic overview of it. Hope you found it interesting. If it's something that you've heard before or seen before, I hope it was a good refresher for you. That's all I got for now. Remember, continue to follow the process. Train, prepare, prevail.